They laughed at the warning. No one's laughed since. What was the danger everyone ignored? Strange signs appeared, but people looked away, ignored clear signals. Now, the aftermath is chilling. Destruction, fear, and silence where laughter once lived. What if you had known? Would you listen or laugh it off too? This is a story of warnings ignored and the terrifying truth that followed. Don't be the last to realize what everyone missed. Watch closely, because the moment you ignore a warning, your life could change forever. Stay with us as we uncover what happened when the laughter stopped and fear took over. Warning: the story begins with a clear warning. People were told something dangerous was coming. Experts gave signs and alerts, but most ignored them. They laughed at the warnings, thinking nothing bad would happen. The warnings came from trusted sources, but no one took them seriously. At first, the signs were small and easy to miss, but soon things started changing. Strange noises, unexpected events, and odd behaviors began to appear. Those who warned kept urging others to listen, but still, many did not believe. They said it was just fear or overreaction. The warning was not just about a simple problem. It was about a serious threat that could change everything. Yet, people chose to ignore it because they felt safe or thought it was a joke. This mistake would cost them dearly. The warning was loud and clear, but nobody was ready to accept it. This was the moment when laughter stopped for some and fear began for many others. The warning was real, but it was already too late for those who did not listen. What happened next would shock everyone and change their lives forever. Ignored after the warning. Most people ignored the signs completely. They acted like everything was normal and carried on with their daily lives. Some even mocked those who tried to spread the message. They believed nothing bad could happen to them. Ignoring the warning was easy at first because the danger felt far away. People thought, it won't happen here, or it's just an exaggeration. This false confidence made them blind to the truth. The more they ignored, the closer the danger got. Leaders and officials also failed to act quickly. They delayed important decisions, hoping the problem would disappear on its own. This caused confusion and more people to ignore the danger. When the first bad events finally started, it was already too late to stop them. Ignoring the warning was the biggest mistake. It cost many people their safety, their homes, and even their lives. This part of the story shows how dangerous it is to ignore clear signs and honest advice. Those who laughed first now faced a nightmare they never expected. Signs before the full disaster hit. There were many signs that something was wrong. Strange things started happening everywhere. Animals behaved oddly, weather changed suddenly, and people felt uneasy without knowing why. These signs were warnings too, but like the first warning, most people didn't pay attention. They thought the signs were just natural or normal events. But the signs kept growing stronger and harder to ignore. Some people who noticed the signs tried to warn others. They shared stories and evidence, but very few believed them. The signs were clear to those who looked carefully, but the crowd stayed silent or laughed it off. The signs were a chance to prepare and stay safe, but ignoring them meant missing the chance to protect themselves. These early signs were the last hope before things went terribly wrong. Fear, as the warnings were ignored and the signs grew stronger, fear slowly started to spread. At first, it was a quiet fear, a feeling deep inside that something bad was coming. People whispered about strange events, but kept their worries hidden. When the danger finally became visible, fear turned into panic. People realized they were not safe anymore. The laughter stopped completely. Fear took over hearts and minds. Some tried to run, others froze in shock, and many didn't know what to do next. Fear changed how people acted. It caused confusion and made it harder to think clearly. Trust disappeared and chaos began. This fear was not just about the danger itself, but about losing everything they knew and loved. In this moment, fear was the harsh truth that no one could avoid. It was the price of ignoring the warning for so long. Aftermath. After the disaster struck, the aftermath was heartbreaking. The place was not the same anymore. Buildings were destroyed, streets were empty, and many people were gone. The damage was more than anyone had expected. Survivors were left to pick up the pieces of their shattered lives. They faced hunger, cold, and loneliness. Friends and family were lost, and hope seemed far away. The community that once laughed together was now broken and silent. The aftermath also brought important lessons. People understood that ignoring warnings and signs had caused this pain. Slowly, they began to rebuild their homes and trust. But the scars of the past stayed with them forever. This part of the story shows how serious the consequences were. It reminds us that when danger comes, ignoring it can lead to a painful aftermath no one wants to face. Truth in the quiet that followed the chaos, the hard truth finally came out. No one could deny what had happened or why it happened anymore. The warnings, signs, and fears were real, and ignoring them had led to disaster. People faced the facts they once laughed at, but now those facts could not be changed. The truth was difficult to accept. It showed how careless many had been. Some denied it at first, hoping it was just a bad dream. But the evidence was everywhere. Destroyed homes, lost lives, and broken families. The truth forced everyone to look inside themselves and their choices. Leaders and experts explained what could have been done differently. They shared how acting on warnings and signs early could have saved many lives. This truth was a painful lesson in responsibility and listening carefully to those who try to protect us. Understanding the truth also gave hope. It showed that learning from mistakes could help prevent future disasters. But the price of ignoring the truth was too high, and many suffered because of it. This part of the story reminds us that truth is powerful and must be faced honestly. Laughing at warnings only delays the moment when the truth hits hard, and no one wants to face it alone. Silence after the tragedy and the truth came to light. A heavy silence fell over the community. The laughter that once filled the air was gone forever. No one dared to speak carelessly or ignore the warnings again. This silence was more than just quiet. It was a symbol of respect and fear. People remembered the pain and loss they had suffered, and this memory kept them cautious. They listened carefully to every new warning, hoping to avoid another disaster. But silence also meant loneliness for many. Families were broken, friends lost, and communities scattered. People struggled with grief in their hearts, feeling the emptiness where joy used to be. In this silence, some found strength to rebuild, while others remained trapped in sorrow. The silence was a powerful reminder that the price of ignoring danger is too high. It taught everyone that sometimes silence speaks louder than words, and that listening can save lives. This silence will echo in the hearts of those who lived through it forever. It is a quiet warning for future generations. Never laugh at a warning, because you might not get another chance. Thank you for watching! If you found this story chilling and eye-opening, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and join our community. What would you do if you faced a warning everyone ignored? Would you listen or laugh like they did? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear your take on facing danger and truth. And don't miss our next video. A rescue mission turned into a nightmare. They all knew the risks coming soon. Stay alert, stay safe, and remember, sometimes the scariest moments come after the laughter fades. See you next time!